my world changed dramatically, and I couldn't be more grateful for all the ups and downs. And one of the people that we have worked with these past 2 years here at Odyssey is Patty Steele, who has worked with a legend in broadcasting. Worked with Scott Shannon at CBS FM, and she came in to say goodbye. It's been fun. Scott Shannon was in earlier, Boomer Esiason, our peers here, and you had such great words of wisdom earlier.
Well, first of all, I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage because you showed me that note from your son this morning, and I started to cry. Yeah. You know, we don't get to see each other because we're on opposite each other. But the thing that I really have always loved is when I see you in the hall, there's always a sense of joy. And I know that that joy goes with you and that you will take it to bigger and better things. It's tough because country music is sort of the most purely American form of music, and I'm sad that it's going to be silenced to a certain extent here with the loss of you guys. But you know, challenges, and I was saying this earlier, whenever I've faced challenges in my life, at the other side, it's like, thank God I went through that, because it makes you bigger and stronger and better. I have been shown to the door at so many radio stations, and it always makes me, and you get to the point where you feel like, great, next, what's coming up? And I think that is really important. I always carry affirmations on my phone, and one of my favorites is, in the depth of winter, I finally learned there was within me an invincible summer. And that, you know, you take that with you. You take that with you, no matter what those times are like. As long as that joy is right in there, it's going with you. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see what you do next.
And all of us. I mean, I feel great I feel like this team, I think you know this too, people spoke to it earlier. This team is like a once-in-a-lifetime team of people together, like people in the building being like, come on. One of you is going to talk about each other. One of you is going to crack.
The rest of us do.
One of you is going to crack. But that's been the coolest thing. We've all along had a little something to prove. I love you, Anthony. Bye. He told me that I'm my best friend, Anthony, from Brooklyn, from Bensonhurst. I love you. Say goodbye, Anthony.
I love you, Kelly.
You're my best friend.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, wait, before you go, Patty will love this. Anthony taught me the secret to alternate side parking when I got my car. You got to tell him that story. You'll love this.
So for a while, Kelly didn't understand that there's ways to get around alternate side parking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
New Yorkers will love this.
You figure it out. I told her how when I first started parking in New York City, I would get a ticket purposely at the beginning of the month and then put that ticket on my car the rest of the month. And they never, cops would walk by, they'd see it, they'd just look at it.
Somebody's ticketed him already.
Yeah, someone got him already.
What do I do when the street sweeper comes? What do I do? Do I move? What do I do?
Don't worry about it. Just leave the car there.
But what if somebody looks at me with a stink eye?
Don't worry about it.
You look at them and you say,
don't worry about it. Take a walk. Take a walk. Mama Luke.
Yeah. That was it. The Mama Luke. I love you, Anthony.
Love you.
Thank you for your amazing advice, Patty.
Oh gosh.
As a woman in the business, I've always looked up to you.
Well, I love seeing you in the halls all the time and in the ladies' room occasionally. Gonna miss that while we tinkle. Chit chat.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
it's been so great. 844-94709. I got to bring up another old partner. No, he's not. He's gonna be so mad at me that I called him old because he's so young. First, let me tell everybody who you are, my friend.
Stealing Cinderella.
I mean, I hope that's you. I never said hello. Is it Chuck Wicks?
I think that's me. That's so long ago. I forget myself back then. I was like, is that little baby Chuck?
That's Chuck. Hi, Chuck Wicks. You were such a huge part of the history of New York's Country 94.7, and it is hard to believe that we are going off the air today. Everybody's here, Chuck. Katie Neal, Jonah the New Guy, Sabrina from Queens,
Chuck.
Jesse Addy.
Hi, Chuck.
I love every single one of you. I will never forget when we would take trips up to New York, because when we were based out of Nashville, it was some of the best moments that I've ever had in radio. And I am hearing this for the first time. I've been listening on the line for the past 3 minutes. Kelly had texted me, She goes, call me. It's an emergency. I'm like, who sets up an emergency, first of all? I go, all right, something's going to happen. And I am speechless. I can't believe this is happening because New York listeners, the New Jersey listeners I've toured every single state. And I'll never forget it when I hit my last state. I think it was Maine. And I've done a show in every single state, even Hawaii. And some of the best listeners, if not the best listeners, come from New York and New Jersey. And, my dad's from Long Island. I grew up in Delaware. And it's such a special place. And I hate to hear this. And I want to say something to the listeners right now. And this is so maybe inside radio, and I don't know why they made a decision to.
We're not really focusing on that, Chuck. We're being grateful for this.
I know, but I want to say this to the listeners is when it comes to decision making and when it comes to not everyone is accounted for that listens to your show, Kelly. Mm-hmm. When it comes to ratings don't touch everyone. Mm-hmm. They don't. There's someone listening in their car right now that listens to you every single morning that no one knows about when it comes to rate. No one ever knows about that person because for some reason of how they work the system. And that's unfortunate because you guys, to me, Nash FM 94.7, now you change it. See, that's how long it's been.
That's okay.
94.7.
Yeah. Today we're allowed to say both.
Yeah, I mean, it's to me, it was an iconic place to be, and I was so proud of you when you went up there and took the reins over. And it's just unfortunate. I love you guys so much. The listeners deserve you guys. I know for a fact that every single artist, when they find out this news, when Jason Aldean, when Luke Bryan, Darius Rucker, the biggest stars in our format, Carrie Underwood, when they hear this news, they're going to be brokenhearted about it because New York is the place to go for an artist. We love going up there. We love touring up there. We love visiting the station. And this is just an unfortunate phone call I did not want to get.
Well, for those just joining, Chuck, to replay the history of the station, in 2013, when we launched, I was doing middays. Chuck was part of the Blair Garner Show, a crucial part, really co-host of the show with Blair. And Chuck is not just in radio, he's also, that's okay. Chuck's also an artist. I mean, first and foremost, he's an artist. His side hustle is radio because he's so wildly likable and delightful, and we just had great. Chuck and I always had great chemistry. In fact, there were moments along the way that we hoped it would be our show, that we would be co-hosts. I tried to get him up here a few times. Honestly, we've always had a thing for each other in a great radio way. But I think, I often said to him, you should be doing your music. Like radio you shouldn't be wasting your time on radio in some ways, right? But again, that's selfishly, we loved having you on radio as well. So I think it's really cool that you can speak from both perspectives, not just as a person who's so crucial to the history of New York's Country 94.7 and its 8+ years, but also as an artist who's, making great music. You just launched a single with Jimmy Allen, who's on Dancing with the Stars right now, and I love that.
He's crushing it. I will say, and you know this, Kelly and I have talked multiple times just while you've been up there and doing your thing and just kind of pep talking each other and, having rallies for each other because, it is a tough business and you never know what's going to happen. But there's one thing for sure. I know we're both believers, and I think everybody in that room is a believer, is that everything happens for a reason. I'm not sure of this reason, but I know at the end of the day, it's going to come clear and everyone is going to land on their feet. Good people land in good places. And all of you guys that I worked with up there, from John Fox down, it's just like the best group of people. I was so mad, Kelly, when because we did want the opportunity just for the two of us to work together. That was the one place I missed being, was New York, and New Jersey, and because honestly, it felt like home to me because I was up in that Northeast area. I was a Northeast boy, you know. So I love you guys. I wish I had something to say because I know it hurts.
I mean, really, if
And I
you
don't
just
even-
speak
I
to
don't
the
even work there
listeners
anymore.
almost. I know, because it does feel personal, but it also, I think for our listeners, just saying it's going to be okay, and that, you know, that would be awesome.
It is going to be okay. The listeners up there, you guys are the best. Don't stop going to concerts. Don't stop speaking freely. Don't stop being you. You know, don't stop being American, because that's what makes us great. And that's why we deserve country music in New York City and its surrounding areas. It breaks my heart for you guys, but something's going to pop up. You guys are always going to have country music. The artists are always going to come up there and tour no matter what. We're always going to do shows until then, until we find a new home. Because Kelly, all you guys up there, Katie, I don't know who's in the...
Everybody's here. Jesse's going to be hurt if you don't mention him.
Jesse, what's up, man? It's so hard because you guys know that I'm such a goofball. And I want to be funny, but I'm like
It's okay.
I'm honestly pissed. I am pissed off about this. This pisses me off. And you know what? I could say that. I don't know if you guys are saying it, but I don't work for the company. So I'm pissed off about it for you. And it's you guys are going to be okay. As far as personally, your life, I'm not worried about any of you because you're so talented. You're so wonderful. That's why you're in the biggest market in country music, and it should stay that way. It's unfortunate it's not, but you're going to land somewhere where you deserve, and you all deserve the top.
You know, when I was in Nashville in August, I know we missed each other, but I wrote down a wish. I was like, my wish was, and this is why you have to be careful when you make a wish. Mm-hmm. I said, I wish that I could no longer get up at 4 a.m. Now, this is the problem. When you make the wish to the genie, you have to say, I should have said, I wish that I could no longer get up at 4 a.m., but not be unemployed.
Specificity is the name of the game when you're dealing with a genie. Don't leave a dot in the wish.
Doggone it. Chuck Wicks, I love you. We love you.
I love you guys.
We'll see you soon. I love that. You know what? It's killing him. He's like, I can't be funny. I don't know how to be funny on this.
I can't be funny, and I kind of want to cuss a lot right now, but
that is the one thing I made a promise. They're like, do not use your mouth, Kelly.
Well, listen, guys. You all have my cell phone. I have yours. Let's stay in touch. Let's see what's next for us, and let's see let's hopefully there's something next for all of our listeners because they deserve it.
Yeah. Well, we love you. Taking the time to call. I mean, I did say 911 and it's 2 hours later. Now I know.
Well, I'm so sorry. I was busy putting a Mickey Mouse hat on my kid. So I was...
By the way, follow Chuck Wicks on socials. His kid might be the cutest kid I've ever seen. John Fox and I decided the other day that your child, you'll love this so much, is a Lego baby. Like it's
baby.
hair. You know how they have those Lego hair?
Oh my gosh!
It's a Lego baby.
Yeah, when you put the hair on the Lego people, it's a great hair.
A kid born with a full head of hair and his little cheeks are just want to sop him up with a biscuit. You can't post pictures of him anymore. It's the cutest baby.
I'll leave you with this about my kid. Let's leave on this note instead of the I want to
sop him up with a biscuit.
Salute the number one finger to everybody.
Okay.
When my wife was giving birth, I don't know if I told you a story or not, but my kid had so much hair.
Okay, careful. Careful.
No, we don't have to be careful. This is it. So, as my wife is giving birth, the doctor says,
you did tell me.
Keep in mind, he's not all the way out yet. He goes, oh, this is neat. Look, I gave him a little mohawk. I'm like, sir?
Goodbye, Chuck.
Could you please wait for my baby to be done being born?
Love you, Chuck Wicks.
Love you guys. Miss you guys.
See you soon.
Love you, Chuck.
See you soon.
Look at that, Chuck.
Love y'all. John Fox, you were the best boss ever.
844-947-0947. You created this. We are saying goodbye today. New York's country. Last day of New York's country, 94.7. I'm saying that so calmly. Like, yes, Kelly Ford, along with the whole crew. What's the cowbell, Jonah?
Trying to make some extra noise. Because if I said yeah, you'd say, oh, yeah, here's Jonah's excited voice.
Oh, man. Hearing Zach Brown reminds me of really our last big hurrah, Stars and Strings, which was just a great concert to go out. It was really a magical night on 9/11. We assembled such an amazing group of artists on such a day that we thought, wow, you know, this is such a day that we need to remember in the right way and set the right tone. And with Zach Brown and Darius Rucker and Chris Young, with the backdrop of, you know, the Brooklyn Bridge on one end and the Statue of Liberty on the other, and the tribute of light coming down. I mean, that will be, for me, one of the greatest memories ever of our time at New York's Country 94.7 with you. First responders who Katie, Neal, and I have so many memories of talking to over the years on First Responder Friday, which we will get to in just a moment. But our hotline has been now ringing crazy as word gets out around the country, and particularly in Nashville, as artists are starting to learn what we learned late yesterday, that this is the last day of country music being on the radio here in New York City. Wow, now that one I felt.
Yeah.
That one hit me. So right now on the line is truly, particularly me and Katie, one of our favorites. Kelsea Ballerini means so much.
I want to crawl through my phone and just hug all of you.
Oh,
Means a ton that you... Now stop. It means a ton that you took the time to call this morning. Man, I was just telling Katie, I was scrolling through my pictures, and I feel like I have pictures with you dating back to, I don't even know, before Nashville, originally here when the station started in 2013, like all the incarnations of both of our hairs. I was like, wow.
All the phases of life. No, I mean, from the very, very beginning, you guys have been, so good to me and such a big part of sharing like my music to so many people. My heart breaks. I'm so grateful for like all of our good memories together, and God, you guys all need a shot of tequila, and I'd love to be the one to do it with you.
I know, right? I was thinking about this, Kelly. One time you and I were sitting in Bar Taco in Nashville, which is like the spot to go eat tacos, and you were like, that's Kelsea Ballerini over there, and that new guy she just started dating. And Kelsey, this was actually... I completely, honestly forgot about this, but Kelsey, that was the first time that I ever met you and Morgan. And you guys had literally just started dating. This was like super fresh. This is probably, what year was that? Like 2015, maybe?
Yeah,
maybe even 14. Oh my God, that's crazy.
I know.
I'm like, isn't he cute?
I know, you guys were so cute together. Oh.
And now they're married.
And I also think about the super fun times that Jesse Addy and I had with you when you did your album release. Which was
I will never forget that night.
Do you remember that you had originally planned to do it at the Wayland, and then it changed to the Waylin, which are in two very different parts of town. And Jesse Addy and I were up in Hell's Kitchen at the Wayland, and
I was trying.
No, you need to be at the Waylin, which is down. I was trying not to throw
up in the cab because we're gonna be late. It's this big deal. When we get there, we made it just in time.
But it was amazing.
What was so cool about that night was I remember planning that like the day of, because I didn't really have anything to do that night, and I was like, man, I can't just sit in my hotel room in New York City and put out an album. And like you guys helped us pull that together in 24 hours. It was insane. Yeah.
That was such a fun night. And I was a very hard hangover, too, to come into work that next morning because the album came out at midnight and we were all there till like 3 in the morning.
You're right. Oh, my gosh. You guys. Well, I'm sending you all big, big love. Katie, Neal, I love you.
Love you.
And hopefully I'll see you guys all soon in person. But, yeah, big hug, and my heart breaks for all of you. But thank you for all the wonderful, amazing memories and for spreading all the good country music to the beautiful city of New York.
Yeah, and the tri-state, and thank you. I mean, for bringing the music here and speaking to the fans, because, earlier Chuck Wicks just called in right before you, and we were talking about the fans in the tri-state, and I always say this about our fans, because this as an artist. It's the secret with the artists that we can only say here, is that fans here not only choose country music, they defend it, and they defend it with that passion that you only get from someone in the tri-state. They're like, yeah, I like Kelsea Ballerini. She's my girl.
What about it?
Yeah, don't worry about it. She's amazing. Have you heard her song with Kenny? They're both from Knoxville. We love you so much. We will see you
Love
soon.
you guys.
Thanks, Kels.
Bye, guys.
Appreciate it. Kelsea Ballerini, New York's Country 94.7. We got John Fox in here. I think it's a good time for you to step up and talk a little, John. It's been a hot minute. I haven't mentioned Mike Allen, part of the original crew here in a while. Sabrina. Now we got Dave Plotkin, who's one of the producers here at 1010 Wins. And Dan Mulqueen. Patty Steele's still in here. Jason Goldstein. Dan Mulqueen and I took the Aer Lingus trip to Ireland together for the station.
Wow.
Yeah, that was I learned a lot about Dan.
Oh, yeah? I'm more concerned. Hey, Dan, why don't you step up to the...
Yeah, come on up, Jerry. Get up here, Jerry.
Hey, what's up, Jerry? No, we're good.
It's a great opportunity. We feel really lucky to be able to say goodbye. Not a lot of broadcasters get to do this, and I know you fought for that, John, so thank you.
Well, yeah, and you guys you've earned it. Which you said that earlier today. It's a testament to your character to be able to come in here and have a conversation that's so hard this morning. We do have to do some business real quick. So this is WNSH FM HD1 Newark, New Jersey.
Wow,
we
you should do that for a living.
We have to get a legal
That's
ID.
John's job. John just got his new gig.
Don't get in trouble.
Listen, I'm trying to.
Yes.
Would you like me to put my Mr. Voice on? I do got to tell the story. I wish Dan Kelly was with us, and he's the voice behind the scenes. That does all the things in between the music. And then there's a couple companies, right? And these guys get together and they have parties, and I would always make fun of them. I'd be like, when you guys are all around, these voice guys and gals, do you guys all get in your radio voice and be like, this is one hell of a happy hour, huh? And do all the zips and the zaps. And you guys have been just telling so many incredible stories, and this is a little bit out of order, but I think about so many things that just this radio station has accomplished over the times. And when I got this news too, you can imagine the amount of things that went through my mind and my body, but my time here, I'm from New York. I used to take the train down and go to Madison Square Garden and sit there, when it was the blue and the pink seats, and have a good time and dream about walking the streets of New York City. And I didn't know what it was. I'm like, I just want to be here. This is everything to me. And I was working at IBM, and I was trying to get a job with Metro North. Then I wound up getting into radio in the Hudson Valley at K104. And I would sit outside of Penn Station, and I would just look at Madison Square Garden and go, I got to be here. And if everyone knows, our studio was up on the 17th floor at 2 Penn Plaza, overlooking Madison Square Garden. So when I say that this time in my life, my time with this radio station and the people in this room and really the people in the city, I've accomplished almost all of my dreams. Because I dream big, and when Blair Garner was talking about the dreams, I dreamed so big. And we dreamed so big for this radio station, and Jesse Addy and I, and many of you, we used to look at each other, whether it was the Bowery Ballroom, or MetLife Stadium, and we would just look around and we would take it in and we would go, I can't believe that this is happening. And this is what really goes on with this music and this radio station.
Our people,
man. Right?
We would say, how are we not number one?
Right. And if you've been in Jones Beach and you look around at the big bowl, right? Every sold out show, and Jesse and I used to go how are we not?
Right.
The number one station. But what I'm trying to say
So imagine our surprise yesterday.
Right. Exactly.
You think we were surprised then?
It really is, and the feeling that you get, and you just talked about Stars and Strings and that event on 9/11, which is it was so major in so many people's lives. But to hear actually people say that, I knew where I was 20 years ago, and I will now remember where I was 20 years later. It was really a decade in the making, almost, of the time that we spent in this radio station working with the people in the city and towns on building our relationship, that we were able to come together that night, right? In one of the most tragic times in all of our lives, in one of the greatest cities on the planet. And have just, right? And never forget it. Like, there will never be anything that replaces that, and we'll never forget to be a part of something, right? That puts a little bit of a film there of hope and resilience and a different memory to go along with one of the most horrific days in our lives. This brand did that. And when I say that like that, it's you listening now, and it's the people in the room, that we had enough courage and we had enough resilience and passion and strength to just keep going.
If you guys take one thing away from today, know that every single person in this room fought really hard, really long for this day not to come.
Yeah,
that's all I will say. We worked our asses.
Everything, every moment, and it's been remarkable. And I just want to go through some of the list of this stuff. You know, Kelly came back and she talked about that coming in the mornings. We moved from 2 Penn to 345. You know, we got nominated for ACM awards. Katie Neal and hold on, and Kelly Ford, right? And the station as a whole, we got nominated for CMA awards. Kelly and Katie won a Gracie Award. You know, we had the Christmas for the kids. We've helped so many different people in so many ways, not because we're like, oh, we have to help. It's we all wound up getting together, and good things happen when you have good intentions, right? And that's all we ever had. That's what all you guys had. So that's what I got to say to you guys, the on-air team, and the people behind the scenes. And you said our secret weapon, good intentions. Everyone had the intent to just live out, right, their happiness, their dreams, the passion that they have in life. And what's remarkable, each and every one of you put yourself second to wanting to do something incredible for somebody else, which for me, that's what drives me every day. And then honestly, the fact that we still get, this is another dream, right? The fact that we still can sit here and share in this moment together of what we created. Is it sad? Beyond sad. But what we did, we defied odds, in my opinion, right? In a city, right? You go to wherever you went, New Jersey, Long Island, in Manhattan, the stories and the smiles, really, and the composure of people when you looked at them at our events, it's priceless. And you were on the air the other morning, too, talking about it's not what you say, it's how you act. And let me tell you something. This radio station and you guys acted so classy. Even in this moment, you've been asked to do one of the hardest things, I'm sure, in your lives. To come on here now and share this time to say goodbye. These are your dreams, guys. I know that. You put your whole life in this. We spent more time here. And especially in the last few years when COVID came, I spent more of my life on this frequency and put more effort into this for this city and for this radio station to do the right thing. That's it. That's it. I love you all. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of what we did. Like, I've always said, you know, it's over when the curtain falls. And at any moment of these conversations, there's not one thing of regret. Not one. Not like, if I only.
Yep.
Nope. And the fact that I actually even get to say that in real time right now, I tell that to my kids now, and they're like not even 2 and 2 months old. You know? I said, I'm going to teach you, I'm going to be here for you, and I'm going to teach you just to do the right thing. Because that's what I was taught.
Yeah.
Stand up for people.
Yeah.
And follow your dreams. And take chances. And it's really only a little bit more, honestly. If you're listening now, if I could tell you anything, it's only a little bit more effort that really makes it seem like you're putting in a lot of effort. It's the littlest extra effort. And you could separate yourself from the crowd. And you guys put in more than that. It's amazing.
But
it's amazing.
The stories over and over again, John Fox, your name comes up. Thank you, John Fox, for believing in me, everybody in this room. artist Chuck Wick, everybody said it's John Fox. So you have, I know you believed in me when nobody else believed in me. You believed in me when, same thing, when somebody had thrown me away.